Right, and we've just done a podcast with Joe Cole. We did talk about Tommy Tuchel, so go and check that out if you've not seen it already. Brilliant interview, dived into every single aspect of his career. Some real honesty in there as well, which was good to see. But you said you wanted to talk about Thomas Tuchel, and we didn't really cover your opinions. We got Joel's, but we didn't really cover yours, and you've got some stuff you want to say on it, right?
No, we've run out of time with Joe, and I just thought it's a big thing, I think, with a manager being sacked and just the way it happened. Because I met him just prior to that and done an interview with him about his Chelsea team and the way that his team is structured and his plans going forward. And it was just really mad, and it was surreal, really, when I heard the news come through, because the way that he was talking to me on screen and off screen at the time was like, he's just delighted to be there. He was so happy off the pitch, so happy on the pitch. He had spent around £250 million on his squad. Finally was getting Aubameyang, and he hadn't got Aubameyang by then. He was like, hopefully it's going to get done. Gets him in, and you think, okay, yeah, they're not in great form, but he's going to have time given he spent that money, and then it didn't happen. And it's just like, listen, I've spoken to people behind the scenes and from good sources that it's just like it was as much as a surprise to the coaching staff as it was to everybody else outside. Like, given that I think the coaching staff had spent a lot of time speaking to the new owners. And from what I'm told, I don't think Thomas Tuchel and his team had ever had as much engagement with the owners at any other point in their careers they'd had in this short spell they'd had with the new owners. So I think Joe Cole hit the nail on the head. He's met them in LA, and they're really into the project and they're really hands-on. But there's hands-on and there's doing too much. And I think from what I hear, they were kind of getting their noses too much into the tactical and technical side of things that you'd normally be left to a manager.
Well, there was something came out over the weekend that the new owner, Todd, had mentioned, like, why don't we try playing 4-3-3?
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
Yeah.
I got that wrong. 4-4-3.
Yeah.
Which, I'll be honest, that's a pretty good formation, right? If you get away with that.
Yeah, if you can get away with one extra player on the pitch. And I think they're the kind of the stories that I'm hearing as well, like trying to influence even player selection. And when you get to that point, you can start understanding why a manager would have some pushback and go, whoa, what's going on here? So I think Tuchel, the personality and character he is, I think he would have looked at that and gone, whoa, I'm not accepting that. Some other managers would have gone, it's new owners, I'll do as they say and I'll dance to their tune. I don't think Thomas Tuchel is that guy.
Well, new owners are always the biggest threat to a manager.
Yeah, they are.
Because as soon as it starts to wobble, they're like, I need my decision to go in there, don't they?
And I think the old management team, I think from what I'm hearing, is that they at the beginning were quite okay having the conversations and talking and dialogue and it giving the information over, but then it became a bit draining. And then I think a couple of weeks before the sacking happened, I think there was a clear, distinct change in the way that the new ownership approached them. Not as engaging. I don't think there was any real contact, any dialogue for a couple of weeks. So I think they knew the writing was on the wall behind the scenes.
Why let him spend $250 million?
I think that's the big issue that a lot of people behind the scenes at Chelsea have a problem with. Like, why let him have the money if you knew you was always going to get rid of him?
A week, like you've just let him spend $250 million, and a week later, someone has to come in and play with his guitar now.
I think that's a clear lack of understanding football. It has to be. Not these guys have understood how to run American football teams. American sports teams, right? It's very different the way that they transfer and recruit players. Very, very different model. So I think there's been a lack of understanding maybe in that area, because I don't know any business in any other industry, including football, that allows somebody at the helm to spend £250 million and then say, but you're not going to run it for us. You can go, I'm going to get someone else in. Because that news, Graham Potter has got a clear identity of the way he plays football. We saw that when he went to Brighton. He understands how to set up a team. He knows his recruitment, what he wants, and how he's going to get from his A to B. Now, his profile of player, there could be 60% of the players that have been brought in this window for Chelsea that he goes, they don't fit the profile of player that I want. What do Chelsea then do with those players? So it's a big thing they've got to consider, and he's gonna have to work out. Has Potter come in and they've said you've got to work with what you've got here? It's not about work with these boys. I don't know.
And that was another one of the rumours that was doing the mill is, Peter Cech had gone, the other guy had gone, and that Tod Boehly's basically being director of football, doing a lot of the recruitment himself. And I think we've seen over the last decade at Manchester United that you can get that wrong. You can get that wrong in a very, very expensive way.
Yeah.
If it doesn't go correctly for you.
Especially when there's a lot of like wild kind of opinions and wild things being said behind the scenes, as like with formations and with certain individual players that the new ownership want out of the team. I think Mendy would have been one of them in terms of kicking the ball and his distribution, and talking about tactical things. I don't know if an owner should be even talking about stuff like that. Your manager's there to deal with that. You let him manage it. I don't see an owner or a CEO really going in and just like dictating to the financial arm of a business and going, this is how it's got to be done. You employ people that are professionals in that area, best in class to do that. And you'd think that'd happen with a manager, but it doesn't seem to be the case at the moment with the way it's run. It's going to be interesting to see if they're going to have that kind of pressure and kind of involvement with Potter. Has he come in and understanding that we are at the table with you when it comes to recruitment, when it comes to tactics, when it comes to individuals, dealing with the teams, how many meetings you have, when you have your meetings? Are they going to be that hands-on, or is it, you know what, we were going to clear the decks anyway and we're going to do everything we could do to get rid of this new manager after Marina, after Petr Cech. So they were never going to be in. We want to get our guy in. He can run it himself. So where that goes to, I think time will tell us.
American owners that have had American sports teams as well and trying to run English football clubs like that have universally failed. Chelsea fans, are you worried? You know, I like Graham Potter. Graham Potter's got like a 31% win record or something like that. And as a Brighton manager, where he got a lot of plaudits for, you just sacked a guy with twice that sort of win rate that delivered you a Champions League. Are you worried? Potter might work. They've said he's a long-term appointment. Chelsea haven't had long-term appointments in 2 decades. But
it's a new regime. They might be saying we're going to change it. We've made a sacking from the old regime, brought in our man, and we're going to give him time. I hope that's the case. I genuinely do. I hope it's the case. But if they don't qualify for the Champions League, like Joe said on the previous podcast that we done earlier, if they don't qualify for Champions League this year, I'll be interested to see how this regime works in that.
Chelsea fans, talk to us in the comments. Is this a good appointment for you guys? Will he get the time? I'm sceptical. I can only go off what that club has done. I know it's a different ownership, but that club has not given anybody time. Potter might make it work.
I wish him the best of luck because he's a young English manager, gone the hard route to the top. So he deserves his opportunity, I think, at a big club. So good luck to him.
Tick some boxes for you.
Yeah, he does. He does. I wouldn't have got rid of Thomas Tuchel. I think any big job comes up now, his name's the top of the list because he's proven. He came in. He managed the club through sticky period. Like it was murky at times. New ownership. They just sacked Frank Lampard, a club legend. It's hard to come in after that. Then gets them to a Champions League final, wins other trophies. He gets teams to finals, by the way.
Well, yeah, he was penalty kicks away from having the Arsenal double.
Yeah,
this summer.
What madness! There's always a little slide dig with a skeezer, isn't there?
Anyway, let us know, Chelsea fans especially. Please let us know your thoughts on how this is going to go down. When you look at what Potter's done previously, I think him playing a back three, Chelsea, have been successful recently playing that. It's not a crazy transition, but where do you see the sticking points being with this sort of system? And would you like to play 4-3-3? Let us know in the comments in a bit.
Who was the biggest influence in terms of managers on your career, do you think? And why?
It's got to be Jose, really. Like he sort of lit a fire. I don't know, lit a fire inside of me that sort of it went right. I need to start winning things because I got scared. I thought I'm not going to win nothing in my career.